Sabrina is moving forward and freezing her eggs. Zach and Karen have a copacetic co-parent moment until Hurricane Fatima busts in. And Andi is very sorry she ain't never experienced a love like this before. What's good, y'all? It's your sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about season 7, episode number 8. If you're not new, welcome back, boo. But if you are, hit that subscribe button and turn your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my sisters' content and conversations. I have new videos dropping every single day, having all the conversations that you want to have about the Sistas universe. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and jump right on into it. If you missed it, we do a live Sistas after show after each new episode where we break down the episode, we give our reactions, and we're able to talk in real time because it is a live stream. Feel free to check out our Sistas Keeper, which is the live after show, as I mentioned, every Wednesday night at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, again, after each new episode of Tyler Perry's Sistas. If you want to check out the one that we did for this particular episode, which was a hoot, I was cutting up, if I do say so myself, it is linked in the description box down below. Now, this episode was not perfect, but for all intents and purposes, it was definitely a decent episode, and the storylines were moving forward. At least everyone except for Daniela, which we're going to go ahead and start off with her because I believe that Daniela is completely, utterly an unserious woman. And at this point, I am getting to my wit's end with the character where I really just don't even want to see her anymore. I get how Black women in therapy, Black women processing their trauma, Black women processing their abuse, Black women processing their mindset, feelings, thoughts around self-worth, self-love, and life. It should be a compelling, amazing, engaging storyline to have for a Black woman within an ensemble Black woman cast. However, that is not what we're getting with Daniela. We're getting Daniela going to therapy, and if she's not bold-faced lying to the therapist about what's actually important or what's bothering her, she's literally bypassing all of her major issues just to point out little trivial ones, and I'm over it. I don't like the idea of getting excited about this therapy storyline, and she's literally still in the process of blaming everybody but herself for the things that's going on. And we still get dialogue where she, for example, in this episode, she tells Carisha, my life is a wreck. But then she goes to point out that the reason why she's saying it in this moment is because Tony's kids saw me about to have sex with the daddy, and I feel like the kids are going to be the problem. Oh, why would the kids be the problem, Danny? Because what if they don't like me? You don't want them to like you. You don't actually like kids. What if they try to get his mom back with him? His mom is being deployed and you don't want his kids with him. Like, none of her excuses actually made any type of sense. And she is literally starting to push this boy away, and we want to sit here and give Carisha all of this goofiness as it pertains to the kids, when at the end of the day, the real reason why you are in this relationship starting to sabotage is because that's what you do, because you feel like you're unworthy. But we're not having that conversation. We're having a conversation about the kids potentially being parent traps, or the kids potentially hating Daniela when she's not doing anything to actually get them to like her. We literally had to suffer through the last episode where she gave Tony this stern talking to because she needs to be included in the conversations around his kids, because you got upset and decided to ignore this man for days because his ex-wife is, and the mother of his kids is getting deployed, and now his kids have to come and stay with him. What conversation is to be had? There are no other options other than my kids are coming to stay with me. I'm their father. And the fact that you're actually requesting anything other means that you are probably the problem in the situation, not the damn kid. And we don't get to see Carisha expose that because also Danny isn't actually leaning into that. So it's a waste of my time and yours to watch Daniela on our screens sit on this damn therapy couch and create a bunch of poppycock and then call it healing. You're not healing. You're literally doing what you always do. You're deflecting, you're blaming others, you're not taking responsibility and or accountability for your thoughts, for your mindsets, for your actions within your own life, and I'm over it. And then this just further gets frustrating when we see her again in the episode and she's sitting next to Sabrina and they're sitting there drinking, and she makes her little nasty quips about Karen. I get it. It's trendy and it's cool to hate on Karen, but Karen is not the person that y'all actually are making her out to be. So to call her sneaky because she didn't tell you about a doctor's appointment about a baby that your ass is not gonna like, even though you think that you're obligated to because you're supposed to be her quote unquote friend, for a circumstance that she's in where you're laughing at her behind her back and rooting for her to fail behind her back, but you're mad because she didn't disclose to you an appointment? Meanwhile, you're so tired of the baby father drama? Interesting. Because if you were so tired and you didn't want to be involved, then why in the hell are you making smart quips? And why in the hell are you getting an attitude because she didn't disclose to you what's going on in her life? It sounds to me that she picked up on the energy that you were putting down and she decided to keep all of y'all asses out of it. And now you feel away because you feel like you're owed everybody's business. And newsflash, Daniela, everybody's life isn't tea. A lot of people are going through real life not like yourself, who is creating the problems within their lives, who are literally stirring up tornadoes and stirring up chaos and then dancing in it and then want somebody to feel bad for you. No, actually, some people are experiencing life problems that are outside of their control and they're handling it the best way that they can. So no, it's not news to share or tea to spill just for you to ingest, be entertained, and then be bored by and or irritated and discard later because you have nothing positive to add. Karen don't owe you Sabrina don't owe you Andrea don't owe you If these hoes decide to never tell you anything ever again, it'll be the best decision they ever made. What are you adding to their lives? What would you be adding to the circumstance if you knew she was going to the doc? Not a damn thing. Additional hate, additional jealousy. I'm gonna go ahead and move on from Daniela because I could probably read her for a month of Sundays and still not be done. That's how terrible the character is. And you know what? I'm still not done just yet because I also caught what she said about Sabrina and her freezer of a womb. Insensitive, disgusting, again, terrible friend. Going to Sabrina, sweet Sabrina, who is definitely given in reference to her storyline. I know it's a little bit slower. I know the beats are a bit calmer, and this audience particularly, y'all do enjoy a little bit more drama, but I want you to ride the ride with Sabrina Hollins because I think that this is a really powerful storyline in her processing if she's going to stay in this healthy relationship that she has, because ultimately they have one deviation in desires for their lives as it pertains to kids. It seems like they align with everything else, but they don't want kids. Oh, I'm sorry, two things. They don't want kids, or he doesn't want kids and he doesn't want to get married, but everything else seems to be aligned. And Sabrina is going through the process, and in this episode we get to see her coming out of an appointment where she's getting all of these sonograms and she's getting initial hormone shots and getting the schedule for the process of doing IVF. And I think that this is a very important conversation to have. I think this is important storyline to see. I didn't know about some of the things that we're getting to see until I actively started to pursue the process of freezing my own eggs a few years ago. And I do credit the first time I actually got introduced to the idea of it, because I think it's something that Black women don't actually get educated about or don't get told about. To Being Mary Jane, that was the first series where I saw this actually get introduced, and the process started to become a little bit more clear. And now that we're in a day and age where women are waiting to, have kids, waiting to get married, are not just settling, but actually want to hold out, like myself, for somebody who's equally yoked with them, this is a very real thing, a very real part of, or could be a part of your life, depending on where you are in the journey of pursuing motherhood, as well as pursuing like family life. And again, I want everybody, because I've gotten stuff about how Sabrina's storyline is boring or Sabrina's storyline isn't it. And I think that because it's not a typical Tyler Perry storyline, because it's a bit more calmer, a bit more nuanced, and honestly a bit more mature, if we're going to be for real, it's kind of flying over people's heads. But I think that Novi is doing a brilliant job of playing Sabrina Hollins, specifically in this season, and her choices in reference to the performance each week is utterly masterful. Like, you can really see what Sabrina is thinking in moments where she's not speaking. You can feel the tension, you can feel the anxiety, you can feel the fear that she's experiencing and going through this process as she's becoming more knowledgeable about what the process is, as she's deciding and standing strong in her choice to move forward with freezing her eggs. You can, taste the dismay of like the ultimate decision that is coming of like, I have to get ready to let this good man go, probably the best man that I have ever dated. I now have to get ready to let him go. So again, y'all, ride this ride. I think, again, this was another great episode of Novi doing Sabrina justice, and we only really get to see her coming out of her appointment, and she gets to talk to Karen, and we get that little Karen and Sabrina moment, and they always have beautiful scenes together. I wish that the sister circle actually embodied and gave the same energy that Karen and Sabrina give to one another when they interact. That would actually make me fully believe that all of these girls are actually friends, because Sabrina and Karen are girls. Sabrina and Karen are sisters for sure. The other ones on any given day is questionable. I can't wait for Sabrina to get to the place where she's really, really sick of Daniela, because that freezer comment and her really like downplaying Sabrina's journey, when we got to see at the top of this episode that she was overwhelmed and overstimulated and flustered with being in this process, and then now you're sitting in your own home giving your friend alcohol and she's joking about it. She's not taking it seriously at all. She's not really weighing or valuing your feelings about it at all. I cannot wait for the moment where Daniela gets checked specifically by Sabrina, because Sabrina is tormented in this friendship by Daniela, her insensitivity, her disrespect, and her lack of maturity, and enough is enough. Now Andi gets a visit from a very powerful lady, but before that she wraps up with her law school buddy, who I just thought was going to be so much more finer, so much more debonair, so much more suave. He ain't do it for me. You will not be Jordan's replacement. We'll keep Jordan before we go ahead and let Andi go ahead and venture off with you. He does research not only on Jordan, but also on Gary. And that's what he is talking about as the episode opens up. And he reveals that he is literally a psychopath in a pinstripe suit. And it's like, Andi, I get that you needed this man to say this, but girl, we could have told you that. We can literally just run his crazy facts, and we could have gone ahead and diagnosed him. But, you know, since you need the old law school buddy before you actually get it, here you go. And this law school buddy also confirms that Jordan had nothing to do with that white woman, white child. And clearly Gary has something to do with it. Andi winds up putting two and two together and confronts Gary in this actual episode. But before I get there, she gets a meeting with Miss Marie Willis, who's going to be divorcing her husband. She's a self-made billionaire and she don't want him to get under her money. And while this is going to be a wonderful case for Andi, it is actually brought to her by Jordan, because he gave a wonderful recommendation for Marie to go and check out Andi, or to talk to Andi about her pending divorce. So shout out to Jordan for that. I don't know if I want this to be handed to her. Like, we're getting to see a couple episodes of Andi actually prioritizing her job, staying late, working hard, all of that, but I still want to see more. I still don't believe that she is partner material just yet, just because she is dressing better, just because, not better because she's always fly, but more appropriately, just because she's starting to work now. Like, I would love to see them venture off in her storyline to actually show on a career level, not just everybody, or Fatima says that you're a bomb lawyer and so says you're a bomb lawyer. Like, let us see her actually be a bomb lawyer. But we're going to see. Miss Marie is definitely timing up for her. So while she is considering Andi, she ain't necessarily sold on Andi. So Andi's going to have to definitely prove herself and be ready for whatever Marie throws her way. Now, the rest of the episode, we get to see Andi going to go make up with Jordan, which I'm going to come back to because I was really proud of her in this moment, but also confronting Gary. She, reviews the information that she gets from her law school friend. She calls in Fatima for backup and tells Gary that if he doesn't want her to go to the FBI and tell them everything that she knows, and she knows a hell of a lot, then he will back off of Jordan, leave Jordan the hell alone, or she will ruin his life as well as hers if she has to protect Jordan. And I love this for her. This is the type of selflessness, this is the type of love, this is the type of the care, this is the type of loyalty that I have been begging for the Andrea character to produce or to show towards Karen or any of them, because I feel like she's capable of it. She's not just a gorgeous face and a banging ass body. Like, she should have a little bit more depth to her, and in this episode we get to see a little bit more layers develop. So when she goes to apologize to Jordan after the meeting with Marie, Jordan stands firm and lets her know, you should have believed me, my word should have meant something, and not needing other people to tell you this, but you should have known my heart, you should have known my intentions, you should have known, even if it was something to speak on, I would have probably already told you or alluded to or something. You should have given me the benefit of the doubt because we're in a relationship. And she is so honest and so vulnerable and so accountable. And I'm like, yes, this is what it looks like. She tells this man that she doesn't know what it is to be in a healthy relationship. So yes, she should have taken his word for it. She should have trusted him more. She should have believed in him and all of that. However, she doesn't know how. And that's a very real thing. This is accountability, people. So I have nothing to say when it comes to this. I'm giving her flowers and her kudos because this is beauty. So often people come to me like, you just want people to be perfect and you always got something to say. I just want people to be accountable. I want people to be responsible for their decisions. I want people to be accountable for their actions. And I want people to try to do their best. And in this episode, we got to see Andrea Barnes try to do her absolute best. And it was a beautiful, beautiful episode to watch for this character in particular. The only little caveat I'm going to give is that Fatima reveals that Zach is going ahead with Karen down to the hospital to get the DNA test and you get Fatima off. But because you had a good episode, girl, I'm not going to ragtag that ass about that. But you should have put a little bit more thought into that one, Andrea Barnes. Speaking on Miss Karen Mott with her little 2 babies and they 2 stacks in our belly. Yeah. Y'all, this is such a happy time for Miss Mamas. I'm so happy for her. I'm so proud of her. I'm so excited for her. By the end of the episode, y'all, we get to see the confirmation that Karen is actually carrying twins. But early on in the episode, you know, she runs into Sabrina at the hospital, tells her Zach's gonna be here. You ain't gotta stay. Zach runs late because he's very unserious. But he shows up and they have a very cool moment of co-parenting or finding their way in their friendship. He brings her food because he knows it's going to be a long day. I think that he is a little bit apologetic that she's about to have this huge ass needle stuck in her. But, you know, it is what it is. They are having such a cool moment that he finally touches the belly. I think this is for the first time. They're talking about Zach Jr. and his big ass head by way of Zach and just kikiing, having a good time, smiling, cool. And then what? Big bad Fatima pops up and dampens the damn mood. She come in and got stank ass energy. And didn't Karen say no bitches? I believe she said no bitches. Why is there a bitch? Sorry, y'all. I just had to do it. Because that was funny. And then from there, y'all, it gets hella tense. I am proud of Karen for how she handled it, because while it's annoying, while it's frustrating, she don't go off, she don't zap, she don't call her another bitch. She just, you know, it is what it damn is, and she just kind of presses forward. I'll tell you one thing, all the uncomfortability that Fatima feels, she brought it on her damn self by popping up because she really just should not be there. The nurse coming in, reading the name Zach and Karen said, oh, Zarin, that is going to be such a good boy name. Yeah, take that little shot. You deserve it, because had you not been there, you wouldn't have heard it. So you wouldn't have felt it. And shout out to Zach for apologizing to Karen that Fatima popped up. Because you did what? Popped up. It's not about, oh, you don't want me here. It's not about that. At some point, Fatima, we're going to have to realize that Karen is having this baby. It is Zach's, and it ain't about you, boo. Now, your feelings are your feelings, and your feelings can be valid, but if your feelings are not going to allow you to positively and or healthily navigate your relationship moving forward because you're just so overcome with jealousy, you're just so overcome with insecurity, then maybe you need to leave the relationship, babes. Maybe you need to let it go. Maybe you need to press pause. Maybe you need to back away. Do something for yourself, because you popping up at this hospital, while it is to satisfy your ego, your pride, your curiosity, which kills the cat, it also isn't a good thing for you either. And at this point, we're getting into the territory where you're going to rob Zach of the experience of bringing a child into this world just because it's not a child with you. How fair is that? And yes, I did say insecurity, because her popping up at this hospital screams it. It is jumping off of her. It is literally visual proof that Fatima is insecure at worst, jealous at best. Now, in talking about Karen's part of the episode, we also got to talk about Miss Pam, and then our pop up from Mr. Earn, who is checking on Karen and keeping his distance to respect her wishes. And it is so wonderful to see him. He's going to be back in the next week's episode, because we got a photo from set where we get to see Zach and Aaron looking at a sonogram with Karen in the middle in the hospital bed, and this is when they find out that she's actually having twins. The doctor reveals that the babies are into sex, which is going to basically confirm what I've been telling y'all for forever, that the babies have separate daddies, and I cannot wait to see it. Pam, girl, chill out, okay? Just chill the hell out with your goofy, cute ass. All right, relax. And y'all, last but certainly not least, Tamara and Gary get it on in this episode. And I get it, Tamara, a means to an end, honey. You slept with Gary and you recording him on this little pen and he don't notice it even though it has this big ass bright blinking red lights. He don't notice. But girl, I'm sorry, your stock has dropped just because you done bedded a demon. I don't know how. I guess like you have done worse because you know you've been about this life. You come from Madam's world and all of that. But I don't know. It depends on how her little plan is about to unfold if I can get back on Tamara's team. But just watching her have sex with Gary, it just made me like, damn, I can't rock with you like that no more, Tamara. I still think that you're a very cute girl, but like it gives that you kind of sexually attracted to him. Like, yes, you are on a mission and maybe you gonna try to play him, but it also gives, girl, that you enjoying this a little bit, maybe just a tad bit, and I don't like that. All right, y'all, this video was a little bit long, but those are all of my thoughts for episode 8. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. It's your good sis you love to talk TV with, and I'm coming with my preview for next week's episode. So if you haven't already, subscribe, turn your bell notification on, and I got you. See you in the next one.